Welcome back, my people. This is part 2 of My Boyfriend Met My Sister and Forgot I Existed. If you thought part 1 was intense, buckle up. Because in this chapter, the quiet girl finally reaches her breaking point, and the truth starts tearing everything apart. Settle in, relax, and get ready. Let's dive straight into where the chaos left off. I didn't call. For 3 days, Ethan's number sat in my nightstand drawer, burning a hole through my consciousness. Every morning I woke up and thought about dialing. Every night I went to bed hating myself for my cowardice. Sienna's heartbreak turned to rage, turned to calculated revenge within 48 hours. She posted a series of Instagram stories painting Ethan as a user who'd wasted her time, a nobody photographer with delusions of adequacy. Her followers ate it up, commenting with supportive messages about how she deserved better. I watched it happen and said nothing. What could I say? That I was falling in love with the man she was publicly destroying. That every cruel word she typed made me hate her a little more and hate myself for staying silent. "You're being awfully quiet," my mother observed on the 4th morning. We were having breakfast, just the two of us since Sienna was sleeping off another late night and Dad had already left for work. "I'm always quiet." "True, but this is different. You look guilty." She studied me over her coffee cup. "What did you do?" "Nothing." The lie tasted bitter. "Maya," her tone sharpened. "If this is about Sienna's breakup, I need you to remember that your sister comes first. Family loyalty is everything. Even when family is wrong. Especially then, we protect each other." She set down her cup with a decisive click. "Whatever you're thinking, don't. Sienna needs our support right now." I wanted to scream, to ask when anyone had supported me, protected me, chosen me first. But I just nodded and finished my toast in silence, the good invisible daughter as always. At work later that day, I'd been promoted to head librarian 6 months ago, a fact my parents had barely acknowledged. I was shelving returned books when my phone buzzed. "Unknown number. I know you're scared. I'm not going anywhere. Take your time. E**." My hands shook so badly I nearly dropped the book I was holding. He wasn't pushing, wasn't demanding, just waiting, being patient with my fear in a way no one ever had before. Before I could talk myself out of it, I typed back, "Can we meet? Somewhere private." His response was immediate: "The Botanical Gardens, East Entrance, 6 p.m. "I'll be there." I spent the rest of my shift alternating between terror and anticipation. What was I doing? Meeting my sister's ex-boyfriend in secret was a betrayal no matter how I framed it. But the thought of not seeing him, of letting this connection disappear because I was too afraid to fight for it, that felt like a bigger betrayal. To myself. The Botanical Gardens were nearly empty when I arrived at 6. The east entrance led to a secluded section, with a pond and weeping willows that created a natural screen from the main pathways. It was the kind of place where people went to be alone with their thoughts. Or with secrets. Ethan was already there, sitting on a bench near the water. He'd changed, wearing nicer jeans and a button-down that actually fit properly instead of his usual worn clothes. He looked up when he heard my footsteps, and the smile that broke across his face made my breath catch. "You came." I almost didn't. I sat beside him, leaving careful space between us. "This is insane. You know that, right?" "Completely," but he didn't look concerned. "How are you?" "Terrified, confused, pretty sure I'm a terrible person." I stared at the pond, watching koi fish drift lazily through the water. "Sienna's been destroying your reputation online. Have you seen?" "I've seen. It's fine." "It's not fine. She's calling you a con artist and a user and—" "Maya," his hand covered mine on the bench. "I don't care what Sienna says about me. I care about you. Are you okay?" The simple question, asked with genuine concern, nearly undid me. When was the last time someone had asked if I was okay and actually waited for a real answer? "No," I whispered. I'm not okay. I think about you constantly. I miss our morning coffee talks. I miss the way you see me. And I hate myself for missing you because you were with my sister and I'm supposed to be loyal and instead I'm falling for me. I looked at him finally. His gray-blue eyes were warm, hopeful, and completely focused on me like I was the only thing that mattered. Yes, I admitted. I'm falling for you, which is ridiculous because I don't believe in love, and even if I did, this situation is impossible, and we barely know each other. We know each other better than most people who have dated for months. Ethan shifted closer. We've had more real conversations in 2 weeks than I had with Sienna in 2 months. You've told me things about yourself you've never told anyone. I've shared parts of my past I usually keep locked away. That doesn't make this right, doesn't it? Maya, what's right about you spending your whole life invisible? What's right about you denying yourself happiness because you're afraid of your sister's reaction? She's my family. Family that takes you for granted. Family that treats you like free labor and emotional support without giving anything back. His voice was gentle but firm. When was the last time Sienna asked how your day was? When was the last time your parents noticed you accomplished something? I couldn't answer, because he was right and we both knew it. I got promoted to head librarian 6 months ago, I said quietly. I told everyone at dinner. Sienna talked over me about a sponsored post she'd landed. My parents congratulated her and forgot I'd said anything. That's not love, Maya. That's habit and convenience. It's still all I have. No, Ethan's hand tightened on mine. You have choices. You always have choices. You can choose to keep playing the invisible sister, or you can choose to be seen, by me, by yourself. If I choose you, I lose them. If you choose you, you lose people who never valued you anyway. He brought my hand to his lips, pressed a kiss to my knuckles that sent electricity up my arm. I know I'm asking for a lot. I know this is scary and complicated and potentially messy. But Maya, his voice dropped to almost a whisper. I'm falling in love with you, and I think you're falling too. Isn't that worth fighting for? I don't know how to fight. I only know how to hide. Then I'll fight for both of us, until you remember how. He released my hand but didn't move away. I need to tell you something, about why I can afford to not care what Sienna says online. What do you mean? Ethan took a deep breath. My name isn't entirely fake. It's Ethan Rivers Cole. I dropped the Cole part when I started going undercover. Undercover? I'm not actually a struggling freelance photographer. He watched me carefully. I am a photographer, that part's real, but it's a hobby. My actual job is CEO of Cole Industries. The name hit me like a physical blow. Cole Industries, the tech giant. The company that had made headlines last year for their AI breakthrough. The company worth billions. I couldn't finish the sentence. A billionaire, yes. Ethan's expression was cautious. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, but after what happened with my ex, after being used for my money so many times, I needed to know if someone could love me without it. I stood up abruptly, needing space. My mind was reeling. You've been lying to me. I've been protecting myself. By pretending to be poor, by testing me like I'm some kind of experiment. Anger surged through me, anger and hurt and betrayal. Is that what this is? Another test? Let's see if the pathetic invisible sister falls for the fake struggling artist. No, Ethan stood too, his voice urgent. Maya, no, with Sienna, yes, that was a test. I wanted to confirm my cynicism, but you, he moved toward me, stopped when I stepped back. You were never part of any test. You were the variable that destroyed my hypothesis. I was supposed to prove everyone is shallow and transactional. Instead, I found you. How convenient. The billionaire finds the naive girl who doesn't know any better. That's not what happened. Isn't it? You came into my home pretending to be someone else. You got close to me, learned my secrets, made me trust you, and all along you were lying. I wasn't lying about my feelings. His voice cracked. Everything I told you about who I am, what I want, how I feel about you, that was real. The money doesn't change that. The money changes everything. My voice rose, and a couple walking past glanced our way. I lowered it to a harsh whisper. Don't you see? Now everyone will think exactly what Sienna thinks, that I'm a gold digger who stole my sister's boyfriend, that I seduced a billionaire. They'll never believe this was real. I don't care what they believe. Well, I do, because I have to live in that world. I have to face my family, my sister, everyone who already thinks I'm worthless. And now they'll think I'm worthless and conniving. So what are you saying? That you want to walk away, pretend this never happened? The pain in his voice matched the pain in my chest, but I was scared, so scared I could barely breathe. I'm saying I need time, space. I need to figure out if I'm brave enough for this. Tears were streaming down my face now. Because you're asking me to blow up my entire life for something that might not even be real. It's real, Maya. I swear to you it's real. How do I know that? How do I know you're not still testing me? That this isn't part of some elaborate game? Ethan's face went pale. You think I'd do that to you? I don't know what to think anymore. I wrapped my arms around myself. I need to go. Maya, please. I'm sorry, I can't do this right now. I walked away before he could respond, before I could see the devastation on his face and change my mind. I made it to my car before the sobs came, ugly and wrenching, and full of everything I'd been holding back. I'd finally found something real, and I was too terrified to reach for it. The next week was hell. I avoided everywhere I might run into Ethan. I ignored his texts, not cruel ones demanding answers, but gentle check-ins asking if I was okay. I threw myself into work, staying late at the library, volunteering for every extra shift. At home, Sienna's mood had shifted from heartbreak to triumphant vindication. Did you see Marcus Pennington commented on my post? She was lounging on the couch, scrolling through her phone. He's that investment banker I met at the club, gorgeous and rich. Maybe Ethan did me a favor by leaving. Upgrade, you know. I made a non-committal sound from the kitchen, where I was making dinner. You're being weird, Sienna observed. Weirder than usual. What's your problem? Nothing, just tired. Well, snap out of it, you're depressing. She returned to her phone. Oh, speaking of Ethan, someone sent me a link to Cole Industries. Apparently there's an Ethan Cole who's the CEO. Same name. Weird coincidence, right? My blood turned to ice. Yeah, weird. Although, Sienna sat up, her eyes narrowing. The photos on the website are kind of blurry, corporate headshot style, but the build looks similar, and the age matches. Lots of people have similar builds. True, but she was still frowning, still staring at her phone. It would be hilarious, though. Imagine if Ethan was actually a billionaire pretending to be poor. What kind of psycho does that? Someone who's been hurt before, I said before I could stop myself. Sienna's head snapped up. What? Nothing. Just maybe people have reasons for protecting themselves. You're defending him. Her eyes went sharp, dangerous. Maya, why are you defending him? I'm not, I'm just saying. Have you talked to him? Did he contact you? Sienna stood up, moving toward the kitchen. Oh my God, he did, didn't he? What did he say? Nothing, I haven't talked to him. You're lying. Sienna's voice went cold. You're a terrible liar, Maya, you always have been. What happened? Nothing happened. What happened? She grabbed my arm, her nails digging in. Did he try to use you to get to me? Did he ask you to pass messages? No, Sienna, let go. Tell me the truth. She shook me, her face twisted with rage. Did something happen between you two while he was staying here? Did you? Her eyes widened. Oh my God, you have feelings for him. No. Don't lie to me. Sienna shoved me backward. I saw how you looked at him, how you always found excuses to be around when we were together. You wanted him. Pathetic, invisible Maya wanted my boyfriend. He wasn't really your boyfriend, I shot back, my own anger finally breaking free. You treated him like garbage, like a servant. You used him for photos and showed him off like a pet project. That's not a relationship. And you think you could do better. You think a man like that would actually want you. Sienna's laugh was cruel. Wake up, Maya. Men like Ethan don't fall for girls like you. You're boring and plain and forgettable. If he showed you any attention, it was probably pity. The words hit like physical blows, but something in me refused to break. Maybe it was weeks of Ethan telling me I was worthy. Maybe it was years of swallowing Sienna's cruelty, finally reaching a breaking point. You're wrong, I said quietly. He did want me. He does want me. And that terrifies you because for once in your life, someone chose me over you. Sienna's face went white, then red. You're lying. I'm not. He broke up with you because of me. Because what we had in those morning conversations and stolen moments was more real than anything he had with you. You bitch! Sienna's hand flew up and I flinched, but the slap never came. She caught herself, breathing hard. You stole my boyfriend. He was never yours to steal. He was pretending with you, testing you. And you failed every test by being exactly who you are, shallow, cruel, and incapable of seeing past your own reflection. Get out. What? Get out, Sienna screamed. Out of this house. I don't want to see your face. You're a traitor and a snake, and I never want to speak to you again. Sienna. What's going on? My mother appeared in the doorway, my father behind her. Maya stole my boyfriend. Sienna was crying now, dramatic tears that she'd perfected over years. She seduced him while he was staying here. She betrayed me. That's not what happened, I said, but my voice sounded weak even to my own ears. Did something happen between you and Ethan? My father's voice was cold. We talked. We became friends, but nothing happened while he was with Sienna. But something happened after. My mother's face was carved from stone. Maya, how could you? How could I what? Have feelings? Connect with someone who actually saw me? He was your sister's boyfriend. He was Sienna's victim. She treated him horribly and he tolerated it because he was testing her character. And she failed. Spectacularly. So you moved in like a vulture. My father shook his head. I'm disappointed in you, Maya. I thought you had more integrity than this. Integrity? You want to talk about integrity? Years of resentment bubbled up. Where was your integrity when Sienna made me her unpaid assistant? When she took credit for my ideas? When you forgot my promotion because Sienna got a sponsored Instagram post? I've been invisible in this family my entire life, and the one time I reach for something that makes me feel real, you call it betrayal. Because it is betrayal, Sienna sobbed. You're supposed to have my back. I've had your back for 24 years. I've supported you, covered for you, made excuses for your behavior. When do I get to choose myself? This is about that photographer. My mother's voice was incredulous. Maya, he's nobody. He has no money, no prospects. Actually, he's a billionaire. The words came out before I could stop them. Ethan Cole, CEO of Cole Industries. He was pretending to be poor to avoid gold diggers. And guess what? Sienna proved exactly why he needed to. The room went silent. Billionaire, Sienna's tears dried up instantly. That website was real, he's actually worth $3 billion. Yes. I saw the calculation in her eyes, the regret. And before you start scheming about getting him back, he's not interested. He saw who you really are. But he's interested in you. Sienna's laugh was bitter. Please, like I said, if he's showing you attention, it's pity. Or maybe he has a fetish for charity cases. Enough, my father's voice cut through the room. Maya, I think it's best if you find somewhere else to stay for a while. Let things cool down. You're kicking me out, I stared at him. For what, having feelings? For betraying your sister. For choosing myself for once in my life. Then choose yourself somewhere else. My mother wouldn't meet my eyes. We'll call you when Sienna's ready to talk. I looked at each of them. My father's disappointment, my mother's judgment, Sienna's triumphant vindication. And I realized Ethan had been right. These people didn't love me. They loved having someone to take for granted. Fine, I said quietly. I'll go. But when you realize what you've lost, when you need someone to cook your meals and do your emotional labor and prop up Sienna's ego, don't call me. I'm done being invisible. I walked upstairs, threw clothes and essentials into a suitcase, and left the house I'd grown up in without looking back. I sat in my car outside the house for a long moment, shaking with adrenaline and fear, and something that might have been freedom. Then I pulled out my phone and stared at Ethan's last message from 3 days ago. I'm here when you're ready. No pressure. Just know I'm not giving up on us. My finger hovered over his number. This was it, the moment of choice. Walk away and rebuild my life alone, safe from risk but also from possibility. Or reach for something real, even if it meant terrifying vulnerability. I thought about the morning coffees, the way he looked at me like I mattered, the conversations that made me feel less alone, the way he'd fought for me even when I was too scared to fight for myself. I pressed dial. He answered on the first ring, Maya. I got kicked out. My voice cracked. My family chose Sienna over me, and I'm sitting in my car with everything I own and nowhere to go, and I'm terrified, and I'm sorry I pushed you away, but I need. The words tumbled out in a rush. Where are you? I told him. Stay there, I'm coming to get you. Ethan, you don't have to. I'm already in my car, 10 minutes. Stay there, Maya, I've got you. He hung up, and I sat in the darkness, crying and laughing at the same time because I'd finally chosen myself, and it was the most terrifying, exhilarating thing I'd ever done. True to his word, a sleek black car pulled up exactly 10 minutes later, but when Ethan stepped out, I barely recognized him. Gone were the worn jeans and faded shirts. He wore tailored slacks and a cashmere sweater that probably cost more than my car. His hair was styled instead of casually tousled. He looked like what he was, a billionaire CEO who could buy my family's house 100 times over. And he was looking at me like I was the most precious thing in the world. Hi, he said softly, opening my car door. Hi, I wiped at my tear-stained face. You look different. This is me, the real me. He crouched down so we were eye level. No more hiding, no more pretending. This is who I am, money and all. Can you handle that? I don't know, can you handle me? Broken family, trust issues, doesn't believe in love. I'll take you exactly as you are if you'll take me the same way. I looked into his gray-blue eyes and saw nothing but honesty, nothing but hope. I'm still scared, I whispered. Me too, he smiled. Be scared with me anyway. I took his offered hand. Okay, yes, let's be scared together. He pulled me out of the car and into his arms, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I was exactly where I belonged. Ethan's penthouse was nothing like I expected. Yes, it was luxurious, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, furniture that probably cost more than my annual salary, art that belonged in museums. But it was also warm, books everywhere, photos he'd taken himself framed on the walls, a kitchen that looked actually used. Not just for show. I know it's a lot, Ethan said, setting my suitcase down in the entryway. But I want you to feel comfortable here. This can be your space too, for as long as you need. I can't stay here. Why not? Because, I gestured helplessly at the opulence surrounding us. Because this is your world. I don't belong in it. You belong wherever you choose to be. He moved closer. Maya, I'm not asking you to change who you are. I'm asking you to share my life. There's a difference. Your life includes charity galas and business meetings and people who will look at me and think I'm a gold digger who stole her sister's boyfriend. Let them think what they want. I know the truth. You know the truth. His hands framed my face. Everyone else's opinions are just noise. Easy for you to say. You're not the one who'll be whispered about. Actually, I am. I'm the billionaire who pretended to be poor, the CEO who dated an influencer to test her character, the guy who fell for his girlfriend's sister. Ethan's smile was rueful. Trust me, the gossip mill is going to feast on both of us. How are you so calm about this? Because I've learned that you can't control what people think. You can only control who you are and who you choose. He pressed a kiss to my forehead. And I choose you, every time, no matter what anyone says. I wanted to believe him, wanted to sink into that certainty and let it carry me. But 24 years of being invisible, of being told I wasn't enough, was hard to overcome in one night. I need a shower, I said, pulling away, and probably 12 hours of sleep. Can we talk about this tomorrow? Of course. Ethan showed me to a guest room that was bigger than my entire childhood bedroom. Fresh towels in the bathroom. There's a t-shirt and sweats on the bed if you want something comfortable to sleep in. And Maya. I turned at the door. I'm glad you called, I'm glad you're here. His smile was soft. Sleep well. But I didn't sleep well. I lay in the enormous bed, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing with everything that had happened. I'd burned bridges with my family. I was staying in a billionaire's penthouse. I'd confessed feelings for a man I barely knew but somehow understood better than people I'd known my whole life. What was I doing? Around 3 a.m., I gave up on sleep and wandered to the kitchen for water. The penthouse was dark except for the city lights streaming through the windows, creating shadows and silver. Can't sleep either. I jumped, nearly dropping my glass. Ethan sat in the living room, laptop open, bathed in blue screen light. I didn't see you there. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. He closed the laptop. I was catching up on work. Figured if I couldn't sleep, I might as well be productive. Do you always work at 3 a.m.? More often than I should. He patted the couch beside him. Want to talk about what's keeping you up? I should have gone back to bed. Should have maintained some distance, some self-protection. Instead, I found myself curling into the corner of his very expensive couch. I keep thinking about my family, I admitted. About Sienna's face when I told her you chose me. She looked devastated, betrayed. Defeated, I pulled my knees to my chest. For the first time in our lives, I won something, and instead of feeling good about it, I just feel guilty. That's because you're kind. It's one of the things I love about you. The word love hung in the air between us. You keep saying that, I said quietly. That you love me, but how can you know? We've known each other for 3 weeks. Have you ever read anything by Anais Nin? Ethan shifted to face me fully. She wrote that there is not one big cosmic meaning for all. There is only the meaning we each give to our life. I think love is like that too. There's no timeline, no rules, just meaning we create through connection. That's very philosophical for 3 a.m. I've had a lot of time to think about it. His hand found mine in the darkness. Maya, I know it's fast, I know it's scary, but I also know that I've never felt this way about anyone. When you called tonight, when you said you needed me, I would have driven through a hurricane to get to you. That's intensity, not love. It's both. His thumb traced circles on my palm. When you talk about books, your whole face lights up. When you make coffee in the morning, you do this little dance while you wait for it to brew. You apologize to inanimate objects when you bump into them. You see the best in people even when they don't deserve it. Those are just quirks. They're the things that make you, you. And I'm in love with all of it. Ethan squeezed my hand. I'm in love with your kindness, your quiet strength, the way you make me want to be better, the way you see me, not my bank account or my company or my last name, just me. I'm falling in love with you too, I whispered, and it terrifies me. Why? Because love has never worked out for anyone I know. Because I've watched it turn into resentment and obligation. Because what if we're just caught up in the forbidden nature of this? What if once the drama fades, we realize we were just Ethan kissed me. It wasn't like the kiss I'd imagined during all those sleepless nights. It wasn't desperate or claiming. It was soft, sweet, full of promise and patience. His hand cradled my face like I was something precious, and when he pulled back, his eyes were warm. "Does that feel like drama?" he asked quietly. "No, it feels real." Terrifying, I admitted, but yes, real. "Then trust it, trust me, trust yourself." He pressed another kiss to my forehead. "We'll figure out the rest as we go." We stayed on the couch until dawn, talking about everything and nothing. He told me about building his company, about the loneliness of success, about his fears of ending up alone. I told him about my dreams of opening a literacy center for underprivileged kids, about the students at my library who made work meaningful, about how invisible I'd felt my whole life. "You're not invisible anymore," Ethan said as sunrise painted the sky pink and gold. "I see you, and I'm going to make sure the whole world sees you too." "I don't need the whole world, just you seeing me is enough." "You're getting both anyway." The next few weeks were a strange, wonderful limbo. I stayed in Ethan's guest room, though we both knew it was temporary. I went to work at the library and he went to his office, and we texted throughout the day like teenagers with a crush. In the evenings, we cooked together, talked for hours, slowly learned each other's rhythms and routines. It was domestic and comfortable and terrifying, because it felt like playing house in a fairy tale that could shatter at any moment. My family didn't call. Sienna posted increasingly pointed Instagram stories about betrayal and loyalty and blood being thicker than water. My mother sent one text: "When you're ready to apologize to your sister, let us know." I blocked all their numbers. "And that is where we end part one. You did the right thing," Ethan assured me one night as we washed dishes together. Emotions. They were the toxic. Chaos building inside. They're still my family. Trust me. What's coming next is who shows up deeper, even messier, your worth, and absolutely not just people who share your DNA. Before you go, I wanted to believe him, but letting go of 24 years of conditioning was harder than I'd expected. The fantasy bubble burst on a Saturday afternoon. Ethan and I were at a farmer's market. He'd insisted on taking me somewhere normal, something that felt like us rather than his billionaire lifestyle. We were laughing over overpriced organic kale when I heard the voice. Well, if it isn't my backstabbing sister." I turned to find Sienna standing 10 feet away, phone in hand, clearly filming. Behind her stood a man I didn't recognize, tall, handsome, dripping with wealth based on his watch alone. "Sienna, what are you doing here?" "Shopping, like normal people do." Her smile was venomous. "Though I guess you wouldn't know about normal anymore, would you? Living in a penthouse, playing dress-up as a billionaire's girlfriend." "This isn't the place," Ethan said quietly, his hand finding mine. "Oh, I think it's the perfect place. Public, lots of witnesses." Sienna's phone was definitely recording. "I want everyone to see exactly what kind of person my sister is. The kind who steals from family, who seduces her sister's boyfriend and lies about it." "I didn't lie and I didn't seduce anyone." My voice was shaking but firm. "You treated Ethan horribly. He left you because you showed him who you really are." "And who's that? Enlighten me." "Someone who values status over substance, who treats people like accessories, who can't imagine someone choosing me over you because you've never seen me as competition." Sienna's face flushed. "Because you're not competition. You're boring and plain and forgettable. The only reason she gestured at Ethan, is with you is because he feels sorry for you." "Is that what you tell yourself?" Ethan's voice was cold. "That I'm with Maya out of pity? Why else would a billionaire want her?" And that's where we'll pause things for now. Because trust me, the storm has only just started. If you want to see what happens next, if Maya can survive the fallout, if Ethan can handle the truth, and if this family war can get any worse, then part 3 is waiting for you, and it's going to be worth every second. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Tell me your prediction. Whose side are you on? See you in the next part.